Oh, hello. Welcome to the David67 Celtic News YouTube channel. Today, Monday, the 23rd of October. Just doing a wee quick live stream today rather than a recorded, edited video. Today's video live stream primarily all about Celtic's great performance yesterday, beating Hearts 4-1 away from home at Tynecastle to go 7 points clear again at the top of the Scottish Premiership. Just a quick reminder, if you haven't already subscribed, please do click that subscribe number. Try and get the subscriber numbers going back up again after a wee stalling. Also, please do click the like button, as it does help the channel get wider exposure and more people seeing these opinions and angles on Celtic. Also, in the community section, a wee Celtic trivia question, and from the next few days, they're all going to have a theme of our games against Atletico Madrid in preparation for the Champions League match on Wednesday at Celtic Park. So, thought yesterday's performance against Hearts was probably Celtic's best performance all round for the season. I thought all the players actually played well. Don't think any of the players would have deserved any less than 7 out of 10. Defence looked very well organised. Joe Hart had a few basic saves to make. Don't think he had terribly much chance to save a very good curling shot by Lawrence Shankland that just creeped in at the post. Hart's view was blocked by the defence. Shankland actually, I think, was very good finish, and the curl just took it past Hart and inside the post. Otherwise, I think Hart played fine. Didn't have actually too much to do, which I think was down to the fact the defence played very well. CCV and Scales looked like a good partnership. Scales remains very impressive and calm. CCV getting more back to his best. Showed a bit more pace, a bit more positioning sense. I think he is close to being back to his best. As always, very dependable, rugged performance by Alistair Johnson, who I have to admit is one of my favourite players now at Celtic. And Greg Taylor, not quite so involved as he has been in a couple of recent matches. However, looked very sound at left back, contributed to midfield, linking the play, and controlled things down his side of the pitch, working well with Dies and Maida in a defensive sense. Midfield three, McGregor, Hatate and O'Reilly all played excellently. I think I would give Hatate and O'Reilly both a 9 and McGregor an 8. I think sometimes actually Celtic playing very well is where a game where McGregor isn't is less seen, a bit less obvious, and doing a lot of very good linking and tidying up play, and not quite needing to be fully combative in midfield, defence and attack. Very impressed. I think Hatate, O'Reilly getting further and further forward, much more back to the way that they did under Ange Postecoglou. Up front, Palma, I think, had a good game, showing a lot of the skills which attracted him to Celtic. Dies and Maida, good game, managed to score a goal, and Kyogo, good performance by Kyogo, taking his chance and creating a penalty for us. Have been watching quite a few of the roundups and opinions online and YouTube channels and TV things, shows, etc. And Brendan Rodgers being given a massive amount of credit for the way he has taken over at Celtic. I think personally, and this might be a bit controversial, and so feel free to pop a comment in the comment section. I think Rodgers has possibly worked out that the best way to use the squad that he has and the new players that were brought in by the scouts and the backroom team is actually Ange Postecoglou's way of playing. I think at the start of the season we were very negative, very flat, not getting the ball forward. Hatate and McGregor playing far too deep. There not really being much connection with the wide players or with O'Reilly. Kyogo coming far too deep, playing more as an attacking midfielder rather than an actual goal-scoring striker. I think over the last 2 or 3 matches, for one reason or another, Rodgers has adopted a lot of Ange Postecoglou's tactics, whilst, to be fair to him, looking a bit tighter and better organised at defence. But for me, to a large extent, it's been Rodgers adapting his way of playing to more of the way that Postecoglou played the last couple of years, and a system that works exceedingly well with these players and with the players that were brought in the earlier part of the summer. Some people might find that controversial. I think Brendan Rodgers is a very good manager, tremendous success rate with Celtic first time around, did reasonably well at Liverpool previously at the highest level, did reasonably well with Leicester at the highest level. Have to remember though, however, it was Rodgers who took Leicester down to the bottom of the table and ultimate relegation soon after he was sacked. His way of playing at Liverpool and Leicester was attacking certainly, but much more of a calm, slow build-up, less energy, less aggression, less 100% action all the way through the game. And so I think it's more Celtic and the players have moulded the way that Rodgers is putting out the team and moulding the tactics, rather than the players finally coming to terms with what Rodgers wants. I think it's more Rodgers and the coaching staff are playing the players in their best positions and the best tactics, i.e. playing round, putting the players which are round pegs into round holes rather than trying to squeeze round pegs into square holes. However, feel free to agree or disagree and pop things in the comment section if you so wish. So, quick run through of the match. Celtic obviously got off to a tremendous start. Absolutely wonderful ball by Luis Palma over the top to Matt O'Reilly. Matt O'Reilly scoring an absolutely excellent goal. Tremendous left foot finish across the goalkeeper. Practically unstoppable. This is good evidence of the skills that Luis Palma showed in Honduran football and in Greek football. He is especially good at hitting balls over the top, landing them almost inch-perfect crosses and passes for players to run onto or to head into goal. And Matt O'Reilly, certainly a better player this year than he was last year, getting more success in the box under Postecoglou. In his 18 months under Postecoglou, he certainly was an attacking midfielder, able to score goals, but I think his finishing has improved under Brendan Rodgers, and he's becoming much more a complete player. Would like to see him at times just doing a wee bit more in terms of defensive midfield if Celtic are under pressure, as we will often be in European football. And I think the only thing really preventing Matt O'Reilly reaching superstardom is starting to show his top Scottish performances in Europe. And so hopefully on Wednesday he'll have a great performance for Celtic against Atletico Madrid, working hard in midfield, helping out in defence if needed, but still getting further forward into the box To support Kyogo, Maeda, Palma, and to score some goals and interlink with McGregor and Hatate to get the ball forward and keep the ball in the Atletico Madrid final third. I think it's little wonder that Arsenal are said to be very much lining up a bid for Matt O'Reilly in the winter transfer window. And so I think a couple of very good European performances might seal, sadly, O'Reilly disappearing off to one of the top 6 in the English Premier League. Which would be sad for Celtic, but great for Matt O'Reilly, and I suspect it probably will give us a large amount of extra transfer funds to maybe sign a top-level young goalkeeper to replace Joe Hart, and maybe also a top-level second striker to interchange with Kyogo, and also play alongside Kyogo when we are going for all-out attack in the last 10-15 minutes of a game we're losing or drawing, particularly in Europe. Speaking of Joe Hart, I thought Joe Hart, as I say at the start, did a fine job. It appears that Celtic and Joe Hart's agents and Joe Hart are in negotiations about extending the contract past May 2024, maybe another couple of years, which would take Joe Hart up to 38, 39. And it is said that Joe Hart would be happy being a backup to a young goalkeeper, having a mentoring role and playing games here and there rather than being the week in, week out starter, as he is enjoying and loving the atmosphere at Celtic and the support of the Celtic fans so much. Also probably enjoying the fact that he's winning medals, winning trophies, and is said to be a very important part of Celtic's dressing room. And so I do hope that Celtic do extend his contract for a couple of years, but bring in a young, top-quality goalkeeper such as Kelleher or Lunin. So getting back to the match, Celtic were in perfect control of the game from start to finish. We added a second goal, 23rd minute, Dyson Maeda knocking the ball in from about 2 or 3 yards out after a good cross by Hatate. Hatate working his way into the box, crossing it across to Maeda, who kept himself behind the ball and onside to score. Second half started exceedingly well. Kyogo won a penalty, for me a rather soft penalty. Don't think the Hearts player really had much contact or force on his challenge with Kyogo. However, the referee and VAR disagreed. Hatate took the penalty, didn't look terribly confident for me, and skewed the shot wide, hitting the post and going out to the side. I have done a wee bit of research, and Hatate's success rate hasn't been that great for Celtic taking penalties. And we do actually have on the bench or in the squad David Turnbull, who has a 100% record as in his career and for Celtic. Aaron Moy, who was our number one penalty taker for much of last season, also had a 100% record for us. And coincidentally, Luis Palma, playing in Honduran international and Greek football, has a 100% penalty success rate. So we'd be keen in future matches for Luis Palma and or Matt O'Reilly to step up to be our two penalty takers. Although I actually think players such as CTV, Alistair Johnston, Greg Taylor, Callum McGregor, all of them, I think, would do fine in a penalty shootout. So I think they have all got mental strength and confidence, and they're all good ball strikers. However, I would actually like to see next match Luis Palma or Matt O'Reilly taking over as penalty taker, as missing penalties can prove rather catastrophic in top-level games. Celtic remained on top, added a third wonderful finish by Kyogo in the box after a tremendous cross by Palma right across the face of the defence, flicked on by Hatate and banged in by Kyogo with tremendous force. Hearts did get back into the game a wee touch. As I said earlier, very good goal by Lawrence Shankland. However, amazingly, the crowd remained rather quiet, not really supporting Hearts, not really making much in the way of noise. And analysis said there were 2,200 seats left empty, which kind of backfires on Hearts' policy of not giving the usual number of tickets to Celtic fans. There were said to be about 500 to 600 Celtic fans making as much noise as they could at the ground. But Hearts had about, as I say, 2,200 seats left empty, which will have cost them over £500,000 in gate receipts, which seems rather stupid to me. And also the Hearts fans didn't seem to really get themselves up at any point during the match, probably due to the fact that right from almost minute one, Celtic were on top, took the lead in 3 minutes, and kept Hearts under the thumb the rest of the match. Hearts never really looked like they were going to get a second goal to pull the game closer, and thought Tomoki Iwata, when he came on later in the game to replace Hatate, actually had probably his best game for Celtic. Got himself involved regularly in midfield, did a wee bit more of the defensive duties to free up Callum McGregor, and of course got himself into the box for a wonderful left-footed top corner shot to score his first goal for Celtic and the fourth and final goal on the day. Thought Oh actually did a fine job coming on, replacing Kyogo, giving Kyogo a rest for Wednesday. He was his usual competent self up front, playing a bit more of a target man. There is an argument to say he probably should have scored the chance just before it led to Iwata hitting the rebound into the top corner. However, the important thing was he got himself involved, helped create a goal, and got some more minutes into his legs, as he must be a little bit frustrated in that he has been on the bench pretty much continuously for Celtic, and indeed on the international break just finished, he was on the bench for 2 games and was unused by the South Korean international team. So I think Celtic go into the game on Wednesday against Atletico Madrid full of confidence. I think a lot of our best players are playing well. Kyogo is scoring goals regularly. We're getting goals from midfield, such as O'Reilly and Iwata yesterday, and we're getting contributions from our wide players, Maida scoring a goal and Palma having assists for 2 of the 4 goals. And so the future is looking rather rosy, primarily within Scotland, but potentially also in our remaining 4 European matches. So just going to finish things off at that point there. As I say, please, if you can, do click the subscribe button, get the subscriber numbers going back up again. Do click the like button as well, help YouTube get these videos seen by more. Do have a wee look at the trivia question in the community section. And so for today, thanks for listening, thanks for watching. Do feel free to pop any comments in the comment section, and I'll reply or address in future videos as best I can. And so for today, goodbye and hail, hail.